Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The New Zealand unbeaten heavyweight Hemi Ahio has been confirmed to return on the Devin Haney George Kambosos undercard, and that will be in October. So this is being made quite a big deal of in New Zealand, where I am, because this card will feature on free-to-air television, which will be a change from the first fight, which was on pay-per-view, and a lot of international viewers didn't even get to see Hemi Ahio because the American broadcast did not show his fight, but the New Zealand broadcasters did. So yeah, a lot of people deprived their opportunity first time around, so he's returning on the second card, also with the young New Zealand cruiserweight David Haney, who picked up a medal at the Olympic Games. So this has been announced, as I say, on free-to-air boxing, and as it goes through, this is the biggest card to be on free-to-air television in New Zealand in the past 20 years, since David Tua and Lennox Lewis fought all those years ago in 2000, which honestly, it does feel like forever ago. I was in high school at the time. So, yeah, there's a press release on this sort of thing, and I won't go too much through this. I mean, it does have a few different comments from Bob Arum and a few others. Hemi Ahio here, I'll play a little bit of his audio in a moment, but he says, there's a lot more to New Zealand heavyweight boxing than Joseph Parker. We've got some amazing fighters coming through. This is our chance to prove that, and I'm thrilled to be part of it, and to be live on TVNZ on free-to-air is fantastic and makes this massive occasion accessible for all boxing fans. And he is right. Generally, you have these sorts of events behind a paywall, which it obviously was the first time around. Bob Arum was going on here. I'm thrilled to see New Zealand's brightest talents, two of New Zealand's brightest talents, Hemi Ahio and David Haney, appear on this historic Haney Kambosos 2 card. Apologies for the few misreads. It's pre-6 a.m. I've got to get this one out before I get to work. So anyway, we'll get to the video clips, highlights from the presser, which has been supplied. So have a listen to this.
Both David and I was given the chance on the first Kambosos and Haney card, and now we were lucky to be, or blessed to be back on it again. Now I'm just happy to be over here, and with the free on air on TV, it's good for people like us that can't really get around to doing pay-per-view and shit. So it's good to be able to have them watch for free as well, you know, without having to worry about anything. But it's good. Glad to be here. Yeah, I think my name's out there just a little bit, but I really need to fight one of these top 15 guys to really show them what's up. And yeah, it'll be good. Not really. Style-wise, we're like far apart. Mike Tyson's will always be his own man. Maybe a certain punch, I could throw a certain punch or two that may, like, you know, hit as hard maybe. Well, I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, it's good.
Well, I think it's exciting stuff with boxing, and I think there's more movies made about boxing than any other sport. People are fascinated by it because it's all on the line. It's not like seasonal team sport. Your team loses, they can come back and win next week. Player gets injured, they put on another player. Boxing's not like that. You win, and the world's your oyster. You go up the rankings. You lose, and it can be the end of your career. There's also the risk of injury as well. So it's so high stakes that people find it fascinating. It's appointment viewing. So if it properly promoted, I'd expect massive public interest to swing in behind David Haney and Hemi Ahio.
So Hemi Ahio there, also a little bit of David Higgins, and as you can see here in the background, we have David Haney, Hemi Ahio, representative from TVNZ, and also David Higgins. I guess one thing that probably is the case that this is on free-to-air in New Zealand, just while we sort of square that away, I suspect that the two different subscription services, which is Spark Sport and also Sky Sports, probably didn't want to pay whatever the licensing fee was that they'd have to put up front. TVNZ, it does actually have pretty deep pockets. It's just, what does it spend its money on for its content? So they've obviously come in with the biggest bid. It's going to be on free to air. So for a lot of people, this will be a very accessible fight, unlike a lot of other boxing events in New Zealand, which, as I mentioned, generally behind a paywall. In terms of Hemi Ahio, so you have to take a little step back here and go, well, he wasn't really featured too highly on the first card. The American audience did not see him altogether. He was facing Christian Soy, who sort of robbed Hemi Ahio of a bit of a grandstand finish, sort of put in about half a round's worth of work, then started to look like he wanted out of there, and then he quit after the first round. So what are they going to put together for him for this fight? Because bearing in mind, it's like a month out from the card. Yeah, there or thereabouts. What about 4.5, 5 weeks? So what can we really expect? And it kind of is the story of Hemi Ahio's career. He might get little slots on cards, and I'm not even sure how high he's going to be up the card. But he might get slots on cards, but he's facing guys that are overmatched, that he is going to dispatch, and he does. But then there will be generally a decent-sized break, and he'll face similar opposition the next time out. So you have to question the matchmaking and how he's been guided. He's been with Lou DiBella in the past, year or two, him and Junior Farr. And actually, Junior Farr hasn't been announced to be on this card. He's a DiBella fighter. So he got knocked out that first time by Lucas Brown on the first card, so perhaps taking a longer break and reassessing his options. But it is go time for Hemi Ahio in his career, so I do hope they can actually provide him something halfway meaningful, because just facing top 100 guys isn't going to cut it. He's roughly, 20-0 at this point. What do they want to do with him? The guy's been pro for a long time now. Sure, he had some management issues a few years ago, but he's cleared those hurdles. Right now, it sort of seems to be facing guys that, he should beat, does beat, and he needs better tests, better opposition. Is someone going to invest in his career? Do they really believe, as the press release was sort of calling him, that he's the Tongan Tyson? Someone needs to put some money behind him to give him a push, because certainly it's time. Otherwise, the best years of his prime may just sort of ebb away. Anyway, what do you make of it all? Hemi Ahio returning on the Haney Kambosos card. Also, so too, David Nika. Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.